Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1975's The Vixens of Kung Fu. Let's try to get that without glare. There we go. You get some of that right. Oh, some fake boobies in the background. You see that right there? The Vixens of Kung Fu. That's the poster. And this is actually part of the driving collection. There, it's better. The driving collection from Vinegar Syndrome with Oriental Blue, which I'll be looking at also in the future here. And the Vixens of Kung Fu, both of these movies directed by Bill Milling. And we got some shots in the back here. And this is one of the shots from the Vixens of Kung Fu. And actually, that actress is in both of these films right here. Vinegar Syndrome does these driving collections. They also do those Peakorama sets. I picked this up for probably about 15 bucks, 16 bucks. I think even you can get it anywhere. This is the Vixens of Kung Fu. It says on the poster, "Pleasure's so great you'll never feel the pain." And I got to tell you something. This is such... Can you tell by the title of this movie? This is such a unique X-rated adult feature. This is 70 minutes of erotic, fantastic, surreal bliss. And we're going to get into this movie right now, folks. So let's do this. We're about to do this right now. You're going to see my eyes divert. I have notes here, so there's lots of great notes about this film. So The Vixens of Kung Fu from 1975. This is a film, obviously, I've never heard of before, rare, unknown, and thanks to Vinegar Syndrome, putting this out, sourced from, it says, actually, this is from the 35mm camera negative. This is unbelievable. So, this movie starts off, and I got to tell you, there's so much here, because from the title, you can see, okay, it's just like an Asian film? Is it a martial arts film? Is it a martial arts exploitation film? Vixens, sexploitation? Erotic? What's going on here? Well, we start off and we get some amazing trees, foliage. And I gotta tell you, it really seems like the fall in this movie. Beautiful changing of colors of like fall trees. Unbelievable shots and cinematography. It just looks beautiful. There's this Asian narration going on during the film as we start off here, and we have waterfalls and nature, and it is just serene and peaceful and definitely has a vibe of the Orient. The man speaking in his narration, it feels like you're about to start this martial arts epic, low-budget feature from late at night. We have some Asian flutes playing in the musical backdrops. We have flowers cascading and drifting in water. Beautiful, just as I said, the foliage is unbelievable. I mean, it really truly is. Asian martial arts like music in this film. Soft music, serene music, peaceful music, just like the water flowing with the flower petals inside of it, but then also a little bit more loud and powerful when it's needed. There's this figure in yellow crossing the screen. Almost reminded me a bit of David Lynch's Eraserhead in kind of the real time, just the crossing of a figure of a person walking across the screen. The colors even match the grass. I mean, when's the last time you saw unbelievable grass? The grass in the movie is just beautiful to look at as well, not just the trees and the foliage. It really feels like a karate movie. It feels like a martial arts film as we're starting here. We have this beautiful shot of a spider web in the grass. Taking the time to get a shot like that is very, very impressive. And then we have this kind of Last House on the Left type rape scene outside in nature. Of course, unlike Last House on the Left, I mean, there's real sex in here. So what they would call like kind of a roughy vibe. Roughy in the rape scene, in the gang rape type scene that really reminded me a lot of Last House on the Left in terms of the fact that this rape scene was happening outside, group of people. The beauty and peace of nature and the ugliness and brutality of humanity kind of, colliding there. And we have this slow motion gunshot. And this is a gun. Listen to me here. This is a gun of anesthesia. Yes, anesthesia. This is an anesthetizing gun, but it's called the gun of anesthesia. Yes, I mean, unbelievable stuff. Reverb with the moans and with the laughter. which makes such a bizarre effect. We have this piece of music that combines harps with banjos all together. When's the last time you heard something like that before? Harps and banjos? We have this guy during the rape scene who has a sock and scarf fetish. You don't really see that a lot. You know, people sniffing socks and preferring to hold a girl's socks or scarf instead of actually being with her sexually, you know. So that was really refreshing to see something like that, you know, kind of just holding her scarf and her socks and smelling them and things like that. We have country music in here as well. Weird dubbing in this movie, a lot like the martial arts films, like the Asian films. There is some weird dubbing in here, and it's great. There's this weird, I'm saying weird again, a weird wig on this one girl that's unidentifiable. Is it a girl playing two different roles? I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like you see maybe two girls that could have wigs in here, and the one you can identify her face, but the other one's kind of mysteriously elusive. You can't really see her face. It's very interesting. We have the philosophy of yin and yang in this film, and the connecting with the concepts of the nerves and the veins of our bodies. Very, very interesting. Organ music, mystical organ music is in this film. We have the sound of a gong, boom, and zooming in as well in this movie. We got some great kind of martial arts zooms. This movie also incorporates flashbacks. We utilize flashbacks in this film in a very well done manner, an entertaining manner. Exotic, mysterious Asian music with organ. You know, I can't stress that enough. Now we're getting some exotic and mysterious music. We have this candle and baby oil, lesbian sex counseling to a rape victim. Yes, lesbian sex counseling to a rape victim. But this candle and baby oil and the shots of the candle and just a really, really great scene. Love the lead girl in this movie, who I believe her name is Brie Anthony, which I learned from the Vinegar Syndrome collection book of all their trailers, and it came with like a little book, and she's the first name in the back of the erotica index of actors and actresses. And I really started to love this girl. I think this girl is awesome. She's the lead, very attractive, very sexually attractive, and it has a real strong 70s vibe to her curly black hair. I believe it's Brie Anthony. We have funk music in here. Excellent funk music. Groovy, deep, thick. Really, you know, kind of in the forefront in some scenes. Again, with the reverb, we have a reverb montage in this film. We have lesbian tenderness, soothing, gentle, lesbian talking during sex. We have actual conversations happening, kind of as interludes within the sex. The concept, the theme of class struggle is in this movie as well. We have some Asian music with female vocals, atmospheric, ethereal guitar music in this film. There's a lot going on here in a film that's only 70 minutes, right? We actually have kung fu in this movie, and we have shots of the moon at night, which I thought was a really nice kind of feel to the film. Here's a quote: "We women can hold up half the sky." We have meditation. A meditation scene in this film you've probably never seen anything like. Meditation, naked, breathing together women with smoke coming out of their vaginas. We have in here avant-garde sounds, electronic jazz. It almost sounds, some of the soundscapes remind me of pieces of the score to the original Gremlins, which I believe was done by Jerry Goldsmith. Like that weird wow, 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 when the gremlins are like melting in the fountain and stuff near the end. And also pieces of like the band Mr. Bungle with Mike Patton. Physical, I mean, there's really a trinity in this film. Physical, spiritual, sexual. The trinity of the Vixens of Kung Fu. Great shots through things again, you know, something that's definitely you see a lot in erotic films. Shots through things, through branches, through leaves, and at times it's hard to make out some of the things that's happening. It really kind of brings this whole kind of modern art vibe to it or something. Jazz funk exploitation is also the music in here as well. Great scenes of leaves falling during a sex scene on the bodies even. There's a mysterious forest in the Vixens of Kung Fu. The lesbian scenes in here, and they are plentiful, are amazing. If you love lesbian sex scenes in films, you're gonna love these. They're amazing. There's this great sex scene, lesbian sex scene with outdoors on a mat with leaves falling, a man spying, a martial artist spying the women's butts and their faces of ecstasy. That's definitely a focus there in that particular sex scene. Their faces of ecstasy. Great 69 shots in here, great camera angles of the 69 shots. Tall grass obstructing. There's pink flowers in the grass. Beautiful again. There's definitely a rhythm to the editing of the Vixens of Kung Fu. Again, just beauty of nature. The beauty of nature. Naked martial arts is in this film. Cutting back and forth of different scenes so cutting back and forth of somebody over here, then 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 over here, making it look fast, which makes it weird and wild. This bizarre, surreal, weird, wild martial arts vibe because of the way that they're cutting it, and it's so bizarre. Freeze frames in the fights. The sound of wind blowing. Guitar 70s rock is in here too. Funky electric guitar. There's a strong, surreal vibe to this film. I'm serious. Without a doubt, there's a strong, surreal vibe to this movie. There is a girl on guy, you know, kind of three girls with one guy sex scene where the girls are having sex with the guy, but their sex with the guy is devouring the guy. No, they're not cannibals, but the actual act of sex is part of a woman devouring a man sexually, which is definitely a theme of the film. That sex takes on a role of power, of overcoming another. There's definitely a redefinition, a sexual redefinition of Kung Fu in this film. We got the flanger effect. If you know the flanger effect of the guitar atmosphere with the music is switching. In this film, you will find music kind of switching flavors and sounds, like someone's, you know, kind of flipping a radio station. The women look amazing in this film. There's strong emphasis on butts and vaginas. We have suspense music in this film as well. And how about suspense music during a sex scene? How about how interesting that is? Quote unquote, the wild forest. We spent some time in the wild forest. And we got another quote here, which I thought was great. This man is good looking, but not tough enough for love making. The element of ejaculation on this film takes on a whole nother role too, where it is something about power. Again, something about overcoming. Something about power. There's an Asian restaurant in this film, and you see the obstructions of the kitchen in the restaurant, again, just like the obstructions of the tree, of the grass and the flowers in the other scenes. And so the shelves of the kitchen are like the grass obstructing the wild forest scenes. It's interesting because the primary battle of the film is this man versus this woman. But the interesting thing is that the man gets help to fight that woman from another woman. We got some slow jam music in here as well. You know, kind of sounds like some slow jams. Slow motion running on a beach. Wild cuts between different environments and different music soundscapes, which really brings a strong surreal vibe once again. Running bottomless on a beach. You got your top but the bottom is totally naked. I always say we need more of that in films, bottomless but not topless. So having a top on but with no bottoms. Funky Asian music. And we got kung fu training sequences are in this film as well. Beautiful distance shots and also great close-up shots as well. A sunset lens flare in the film. Telepathic conversations are in this film. There's a woman in this movie who, quote, flies with the wind. The kung fu training of this movie includes a man jerking off, masturbating. And the man is naked while he's training, obviously. I bet you've never seen anything quite like that before. Also, how about if your training involves a man running on a beach with, I believe they're weights dangling from his penis to kind of give kind of a penis Rocky moment in the film. We have a surreal fight sex montage. And what does that mean? Because, again, the sex in here takes on a whole nother definition. The kung fu takes on a whole nother definition in this film. A lot of people probably aren't aware of that. I've never seen anything like it before, where the sex is part and parcel with fighting. The kung fu is connected to the sex, to the power, to the fight, to the win, to the losing. We have spacey soundscapes in this movie as well, kind of very spacey, intergalactic kind of soundscapes late at night kind of vibe. Great shots of feet in this movie. If you're a fan of women's feet, you get great shots of feet. Sped up, surreal, bizarre edit climax to this film, where something is about to happen, sped up, bizarre, and then it ends. This is 1975's beautiful The Vixens of Kung Fu. There's the poster right there. And thank you so much for watching a 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like 1975's The Vixens of Kung Fu. Thank you so much, and good night.